Hi and welcome to the Natives Cookery video. We're going to be making roasted lamb with a blackcurrant and port sauce. And that's going to be accompanied by minted peas and dauphinoise potatoes. For this recipe you'll need some lamb, rosemary, garlic, port and blackcurrant jam. For the peas you'll need peas and some mint and a little bit of oil. And then for the potatoes you'll need potatoes, cream, cheese and some nutmeg. The equipment you'll need is a chopping board with some sharp knives, some roasting trays, a selection of pans and a mixing bowl. The first thing we need to do is make our dauphinoise potatoes. For this I need to get some garlic chopped up and into a bowl. Now we've got our garlic in there, we need to add our potatoes. These need to be very thinly sliced. So there we go, we've got all our potatoes sliced up nicely in this bowl. I'm just going to add a small teaspoon of our ground nutmeg, and then to that I'm going to add our cream. Also to this I'm going to add half of our grated cheese, and then I'm going to give this a good mix. And finally, before I put it in the pan, I'm just going to season it and give it a final mix up. Now it's time to put our dauphinoise in our tray. I'm just going to spoon the mixture into the bowl. Now I'm just going to arrange the potatoes so they sit flat and they're evenly distributed across the tray. Then I'm just going to put the rest of our cheese over the top. I'm going to finish that off with just a little bit more salt and a touch of pepper. This will probably take about an hour and 20 minutes in an oven at 180 degrees. For the first 40 minutes, I'm going to tin foil the top of it. And that's ready to go in the oven. We're now going to prep our lamb. I'm going to take the lamb, I'm going to pop it in our baking tray. First thing I need to do is I want to give it a good season and a good oiling. And what we want to do is we just want to rub all that salt and pepper into the lamb. Now our lamb's been seasoned and we want to give it some other flavours. We're going to use garlic and we're going to use some rosemary. Just going to quickly peel this garlic, just going to crush it slightly with the back of a knife and the skin should come off. Just going to move our garlic to one side now and bring back in the lamb. With a knife, I'm going to make some incisions and into that I'm going to pop a garlic clove. I'm going to repeat the process, but this time with sprigs of rosemary. We are going to be using the juices later on, so I'm just going to pop in my leftover garlic and rosemary into the bottom of the pan just to give it a bit more flavour. When you're cooking lamb, it should take around about 20 minutes per 400 grams. My joint here is about 600. I'm going to add an extra 20 minutes on. I'm probably going to cook it for around about 50 to 60 minutes. Because it's not going to take so long, I'm not going to put any tin foil on it. If you are cooking it for longer, it's well worth putting tin foil over it. And that's it, ready to go in the oven. While our lamb's in the oven, it gives us some time to prepare our sauce. In a pan, I'm going to pop in some blackcurrant jam and I'm going to pop in a little bit of port. Into this, I'm also going to put some pepper and some salt, and I've got a few sprigs of rosemary left over, so I'm going to pop them in the pan as well. I'm going to melt this all together on the stove, and then we'll be able to use it to glaze our lamb. Our lamb is about 20 minutes from being ready, so I'm going to take it out and start glazing it with our port and blackcurrant glaze. Just going to gently spoon it over. You can smell the aromas of the port and the rosemary and the garlic, they're really standing out. I'm going to put that back in the oven and I'll give it another glaze in about 10 minutes time. Not long until our lamb's ready, so we need to just get the peas ready for dinner. I've got a pan of hot water, nicely salted, and into that I'm going to put our fresh peas. We want to bring them to the boil and cook them for about 2 minutes. Any longer and they'll start to lose their colour and won't taste anywhere near as fresh. Our peas are pretty much cooked, so I'm just going to quickly strain them off. going to put them into a serving dish, and to these I'm going to add some fresh mint. Just sprinkle that in there. Season these nicely. And because we're serving it with a rich creamy dish, instead of butter, I'm just going to put a drizzle of olive oil into those peas. Toss them up nicely. We'll serve them up with our lamb in just a minute. The lamb is about 10 minutes off now. I'm going to give it another basting in the juice. Just want to get a nice glaze over the outside of the lamb. There we go. I'll pop that back in the oven just for another 10 minutes. Well, the lamb's pretty much cooked. We need to get it out of the oven. Out it comes. Smells wonderful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it on a separate tray. I'm going to leave that to rest. I'm going to cover it in tin foil. I'm just going to pop it to one side and let it rest for a few minutes. With all the juices from the lamb and the glaze, I'm going to put that back into this pan over here that we've originally made our glaze in. And I'm going to bring that back to the boil. And then what we'll do is once the lamb has had time to rest, we'll add that resting juice to the pan as well. Our lamb's rested, our peas are ready, our sauce is ready. I just need to get the dauphinoise potatoes out of the oven. Look at those. Just want to put the whole dish together. I'm going to transfer my lamb to the chopping board, and just quickly what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour just this small amount of lamb juice, it's full of flavour, back into the sauce. So I'll just give that a quick stir in. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slice up our lamb. There we go. Just a little bit of pinkness in the middle. Onto the plate that can go. The next thing we're going to do is get our dauphinoise on. So I'm just going to use a chef's ring. I'm going to cut a portion out from there. I'm going to get in there with my spatula, right down to the bottom, onto the plate, and off that comes. That looks good there. Some of our peas. Finally, we'll add some of our port and blackcurrant sauce. So there we have it. Roasted lamb in a port and blackcurrant sauce with dauphinoise potatoes and minted peas.